We had to do inventory. My first day, never seen a dead person in my life. Okay, so we're like, okay, just do the wall of the freezer, like one side of the freezer. It holds about 25 on that side of the wall. So
Wow.
like, okay, so I'm with the gentleman who's retired, the former embalmer, and we do the first row and the first call, and it's a full person, full cadaver, and then the next run was like just a torso,
Mhm.
no arms, no legs, no head. The next lab was just heads, and then it was just legs, just arms. But then I felt really bad, so we do the heads and we give them different numbers, give them serial numbers and stuff like that, and then we get to the legs, and I felt bad. I was like, if you tell me this number again, I'm gonna feel sad because I know it's the same person, right?
Oh, yeah, the different body part on the same
Yes.
person.
So I saw the head and we got to the arms. And I was like, okay, we get to the legs. I was like, if you tell me that person's legs are there, I'm gonna be all sad. And he stops and he pauses, and I'm like, no. Well, once we actually receive them, we do go ahead and take their blood just to test for any kind of diseases that they may have, just so we know if we can use them or not. After that, then of course I'll store them. We also, when you donate your body, it's not just for the full cadaver. You may have, say, bed sores on your
Mhm.
back, so we may not be able to use your back or your bottom. So what they'll do is they'll actually go ahead and dismember the body and place them in the freezer. What I will do is we have labs, and sometimes those are full cadavers, fixed cadavers, what you call them. Or if, say, a company who needs to do something with, say, just veins and just needs a leg or just
Mhm.
needs an arm. What we'll do as a technician is I'll set up that lab, which means I'll take the parts that they've requested and place them on a table or an embalming slab and let them thaw out. And then once they're done, I can actually go ahead. If we can still use them, we'll go ahead and gather them, wrap them all up again, and we'll put them back in. I also am in charge of like shaving heads before embalming. I also do sponge baths as well.
Oh, wow. So you'll sponge bath the whole body in one piece to
Yeah.
start with?
Yes, right before they get involved. The one thing about that is when you donate your body to science, if you do like a regular funeral, you'll get like maybe 3 to 5 gallons of embalming fluid, just so ahead and hold the body, preserves the body for the actual funeral. But if you do it for, donation of your body for school, for the university, they can do 22 gallons. So 22 gallons of fluid extra. If you think about it, you tend to blow up.
Wow, I bet. And that would
Yeah.
be heavy too for
Yes,
transporting
yes,
them.
yes, exactly.
Wow.
I've seen them after they've been embalmed and they get really big. The
Okay.
actual process would be once I've already picked them up, we put them in the van, we get them to the school. After they're already inside the building, I basically go ahead and I cut off their clothes because, of course, they're dressed. Remove if they have any kind of diaper, soil, anything like that whatsoever. I'll take pictures of them if they have just see what marks, mostly tattoos. We mark basically all of their scars, if they have any, just bed sores, because again, we want to know if we can use the whole body or if it's just certain parts.
Mhm.
After that
So
is
I
done,
imagine the tattoo parts you don't use.
right, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. If it's not too big, it's not too bad. If it's like a whole back, probably not.
Yeah.
But it is curious to see these people and their different tattoos. But once they're actually fully assessed with their marks and everything's actually written down, then we actually draw the blood. And it's kind of hard sometimes to get it because, of course, there's no, heart pumping the blood through.
Yeah, and things
So,
congeal.
exactly. And there's a lot of things that I learned, but it's hard. You get it right there at your collarbone,
Oh, yeah.
right there. And sometimes you can get it, sometimes you can't, and you can be doing this forever. And just depends on the person that you brought in. Maybe they're too skinny, or
Mhm.
maybe we didn't get them for a day or so, and it's not possible. But we try our best. But we don't want to put too many holes in it. They said twice. Don't poke it more than twice because if it's more, the formaldehyde, the balling fluid could come out of the holes.
Oh, okay. What does the workroom look like? Is it just like a big cold room with freezer drawers in it, or what's it look like?
Well, basically, it's kind of weird because, like, say where I do clock in, it's called the prep room. So it's actually one of those old-fashioned clocks, you know, you have to actually use the card to clock in, which
Oh, okay, that's good to know.
I've never seen in my day. But I walk in and there's, I believe it's three embalming stations, basically just the embalming table. There's three of them.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes there is a person that's just laying there in a bag, a body bag.
Okay.
Sometimes there's a couple people on the embalming table, which is a sheet. Either they're going to be embalmed or they're going to be dismembered,
Uh-huh.
either one. Sometimes there are like the big kind of like 5 gallon, I call them 5 gallon off brand ice cream buckets.
Uh-huh.
There'll be a brain in there, or it'll tell you the day it died and or the day the person died and the day they harvested the brain. But there's that, and then also the prep room is attached to the cooler, and then beyond the cooler, if you walk through the cooler, there's the freezer. So when we get them, we put them in the freezer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Now, is there something that's the most popular, like the teeth or the heart or the brain, or what's your big seller?
It really depends, but we do see a lot of brains, a lot of brains.
Oh,
And
and who
it's really
gets the brains?
it's just basically usually students because like I said, we have different labs and I want to say like the big one holds 30, 40 people in it in tanks, and each one of the students is assigned, you know, a person basically for like say a semester.
Okay.
And they do it or they not. But we do have to go through as a technician through the labs and clean up or see if gloves need to be replenished for the labs. And there'll be like a tub of feet, or we saw a liver. It said liver. We couldn't tell if it was, but there's a storage room that has pelvis bones, just whatever you could find, it's just in this
Yeah.
room and it's fine, but and it does smell. I will tell you that the formaldehyde does stick with you.
Oh, I bet.
So you may work, say, Sunday, and then you're just sitting there, doing whatever. You smell it, and you're like, oh no, this like 2 days later, or you'll be eating something, and you're like, oh, but it just depends on how long you were, exposed to it.
So it's
But
the formaldehyde that smells. Do the bodies smell as well?
if they're out, for example, I came into work one day and I went into the room to clock in and opened the door, and it's like you get the formaldehyde, and then you get that following scent of death. It's just
Oh,
like
yeah.
strong formaldehyde, a little bit of death. And then we had, I would rather smell formaldehyde, I think, because we have an older freezer that stopped working, and honestly, they really didn't clean it up too much. So we were assigned to go in there and clean it up, and we had a slab that had a perfect outline of a person in blood, and it's
Oh,
been there
no.
for a long time. And it smelled so bad because that one wasn't working. So it was around 70 something degrees in there, and they didn't clean it. So it was blood, body fluids, anything. And basically, we had to go in there and then go out real quick, leave the freezer door open.
Uh-huh.
And I'm definitely scared of being stuck in those freezers. I've seen those movies, So, no.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
Yeah, no. But this is my first time working around dead people, and like I just wanted to see if I could do it. So that's the reason why I applied. And honestly, there wasn't a lot of people who applied for it. So I think 5 people applied, and like 2 of us got hired.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. What's the best thing about this job?
Okay. So I ask everybody, would you donate your body? People who work there, right? And usually they have some kind of background and in that industry. One was like 40 years, retired, was a funeral director
Oh,
and an embalmer.
long
And I asked them
time.
flat out, yeah, exactly. And our embalmer as well, I asked them too, would you donate your body to science? And I thought for sure they would say yes. And they said no. No. I'm like, well, why? This is like one of my first days there. And they said that it was because they see what they do to the bodies, right?
Uh-huh.
So, like, yeah, that's for sure. I would not do it. But I went to go pick up this gentleman, and I believe he passed away maybe just an hour before I got there. And he was still warm, and he
Oh.
didn't have the normal open mouth, gaping for breath face. He just looked like he passed away in his sleep.
Hmm.
And I was like, okay, well, that's good because he was there with his wife and his daughter. So I would say the best thing about the job is when I spoke with the wife and the daughter, they told me that, well, the mom told me, well, excuse me, that she had already donated her mom when her mom passed away. And I
Oh,
was like, wow. And I gave them a chance to say goodbye once we removed them. He was at a nursing home and we got him out of the room and they said goodbye. And, you try not to cry with them a little bit, but that was a little rough. But
yeah.
basically, knowing that they are okay with donating their body or
Hmm.
their family member, I think that's actually probably one of the best things because it does help students and it does help doctors who are trying to even learn more.
Yeah.
Also makes me worried that when I go to the doctor, I'm like, I know you cut up somebody, bro. I've done that. I went to the doctor, like a knee doctor, and I'm like, I know what you do. I don't trust you anymore. You're weird. But I mean, you have to like understand that they're learning. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I mean, it's not bad, and I would say probably the people that I work with are pretty cool. But I hate to say it, if you do that full time, you're probably got something weird with you, and
Mhm.
we all agree that there's something weird with us.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
who's really comfortable with that? So I had a coworker who started after me just a week later, and she went a little it bothered her a little bit. But the young girl that I was speaking of, my coworker, I love her to death. She's one of my favorite one. And like I said, we kind of started around with each other, and we had a new director, and she wanted to see if we can go ahead and do everything. Pick up somebody and bring them in and do the assessment, all that stuff like that. So we actually had to take somebody out, a full cadaver, out of the freezer. So we moved them from the slab to a cot, and the cot goes up one side and then the other to level it out.
Mhm.
So I lift up my side, and she goes to lift up hers, and she's small. She's really small and little, and she pulls the little lever to lift it up, and it just drops, and it fell on her. And thank God the man was covered, and he was strapped in, so he didn't fall. And then I'm like, oh no! So I run to her side, and I yank it up real quick, and the director's right there. She didn't help at all. I was like, okay. So then we still have to wheel it out to a van, and it's just a regular minivan. It's not anything special. It's just a Chrysler.
Oh,
So
really?
I was surprised that everybody uses that, but they use Chryslers. But we go downstairs and we put him in the van. I shove him in there, and she gets a chance to pull him out. So I'm like, okay, well, be careful because he's a little heavy and he's one of the lighter individuals too. So she pulls him out halfway like we're supposed to, pulls the little lever, and she falls on top of the guy
Oh, no.
right in his groin area.
Oh, no.
And I am like, are you okay? But I'm like, are you okay? Just laughing at the same time. And she's like, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm like, girl, you fell into a dead dude's crotch. So we finally figure out everything or whatever. We do everything. We put them back and everything like that. And I was just like, oh man. I'm like, she's like, you're never gonna let me live that down. I'm like, no.